The wind howled through the desolate trees as I stood before the decaying facade of the abandoned asylum. Its windows, shattered and dark, stared back at me like empty eye sockets, emanating an air of malevolence that made my skin crawl. The rusted sign above the entrance read Ravenswood Asylum, and a shiver ran down my spine as I contemplated the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. Determined to confront my fears, I pushed open the heavy entrance door, its hinges groaning in protest. The air inside was thick with dust and the faint scent of decay. I hesitated, my flashlight casting feeble beams that danced across the hallway. The asylum seemed to pulsate with a sinister energy, as if the echoes of tormented souls still reverberated through its corridors. The first room I entered appeared to be a crumbling reception area. A rotting desk sat against one wall, its surface littered with discarded patient records. As I shuffled through the scattered papers, a soft whisper seemed to caress my ear. I froze, my heart pounding, and strained to listen. But there was only the eerie silence of the asylum. I continued my exploration, my footsteps echoing through the empty halls. Each room I entered bore the marks of its haunting past, tattered curtains swaying as if moved by an unseen hand, furniture overturned in a silent struggle. The asylum seemed to come alive with its own malevolent force, as if it resented my intrusion into its long-forgotten domain. In a small, windowless chamber, I discovered a journal lying on the floor, its pages yellowed with age. As I flipped through its entries, the words etched upon them sent a chill down my spine. Tales of cruel experiments, tortured patients, and the gradual descent into madness painted a horrifying portrait of life within Ravenswood Asylum. My hands trembled as I closed the journal, and I knew I had to leave. But the exit seemed farther away, the corridors twisting and turning in an unnerving maze. Panic began to claw at the edges of my mind, and I quickened my pace, my breath coming in ragged gasps. I found myself in a dimly lit corridor that seemed to stretch endlessly. The walls seemed to close in around me, and the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of dread. And then, I heard it, faint footsteps echoing in the distance. My heart raced as I followed the sound, unable to stop myself. The footsteps led me to a door at the end of the corridor. With trembling hands, I pushed it open, revealing a room bathed in an eerie, blue light. At the center of the room stood a figure, its back turned to me. A cold sweat broke out across my brow as I called out, my voice barely more than a whisper. "Who's there?" The figure turned slowly, and my heart seemed to stop. Its face was obscured, its features lost in the shadows. But its eyes, two orbs of glowing red, bore into mine, and a guttural voice seemed to emanate from the very depths of the asylum. "You should not have come," it hissed, the words crawling down my spine like 1,000 spiders. I stumbled back, my flashlight flickering, and I knew I had to escape. With a burst of adrenaline, I turned and ran, the echoes of the figure's warning following me down the corridor. The asylum seemed to conspire against me, its walls shifting and distorting as if determined to keep me within its grasp. Finally, I burst through the entrance, the cold night air washing over me like a cleansing tide. I stumbled away from Ravenswood Asylum, my heart still racing, my mind reeling from the horrors I had witnessed. As I looked back at the forsaken building, I could almost hear the whispers of the tormented souls that still lingered within. The ghosts of the past would forever haunt Ravenswood Asylum, and their chilling echoes would remain etched in the memories of anyone unfortunate enough to cross its threshold.